Some of you in this room may be established and some of you may not. So the whole idea is when I first started this thing, I was like, what am I gonna charge, right? You said, am I gonna charge $1,000? Am I gonna charge 10 grand? Where do I even begin? So the first thing, without getting into specific numbers, we're gonna get a gauge of how you figure out what you charge and how you start to grow your rate, how you start to raise your prices. So I came up with, and you guys are gonna see this, I come up with crazy ideas. So this is one of my many crazy ideas. Bicycle strategy. So let's call this a 10-speed bike. And the bike itself represents your company, whether it's you yourself or a company you own, okay? The speed of the bike is your cash flow. It's the money that's coming in. The gear of the bike is the rate you're charging, the price. And then the hill is the inquiries. Are you making phone calls or are you getting phone calls, okay? So let's take a look here. In the beginning, when we first start out, we're gonna charge nothing or we're gonna charge next to nothing. We're gonna just get the gig, right? We're at the bottom of the hill. Nobody's making phone calls. Nobody even knows we exist. So we gotta start somewhere. But once we start and we actually start to get some of this work under our belt, we can slowly start to raise our prices. And as we raise our prices, we're making phone calls, we're contacting people via email, we are going through our social media networks, we're marketing, and we're starting to get a little bit of business. Maybe not what we want, but we're getting something, we're moving forward. But at some point, we're gonna get to that top of that hill, and that's the day the phone starts to ring. Now, I remember the day I sat back and I said to myself, the phone is ringing every day now. This is like a legit business, right? And I know some of you in here can relate to that. So the idea is to get over that hump so that when you're going downhill, the phone calls are coming in. Doesn't mean you stop. You still have to be proactive and get the work. But this entire process allows you to start raising your rates to get to a point where you're worth what you are charging. It's all about value. So, but you gotta build up. You may be very talented out of the gate and be able to do things that other people are charging a lot of money for, but because nobody knows, because you haven't established yourself, that's the battle we have to, we have to fight in the beginning. It's a time thing. This entire business does not happen overnight, like most businesses. But persistence, it happens and it grows. So when we get to the end though, we get to the end here, there's a point at which we have, the crew that we work with and we're booked up. And now there's other work coming in and now we're like, okay, I can't take any more work because my crew's booked up. But it doesn't end there. This is where it just begins. This is where you have to create and expand your company, create another crew, expand the company, and once that happens, the cycle begins again. It's just the bigger picture.